Greetings, fellow environmentalists and mindset changers. Timothy Kamuzupiri from Mizu Eco Care speaking to you from Forest 27. We've just finished the first quarter of 2024, and we thought it's important to just look at the key environmental issues that we faced and continue to face and see what the possible solutions could be. The first one we'd like to look at is, of course, the drought situation we're currently in. It's a drought that's not only affecting Zambia, but a good portion of Southern Africa. Zambia, Malawi, Zimbabwe, of course, have already declared a state of emergency and disaster. So the question is, what are the possible solutions that can help us deal with such a drought in the future? Government itself, through the president, has suggested that we look at harvesting underground water systems. We feel that's not the best way of dealing with the problem of water shortage. The reason being, when we look at our underground water systems, they've taken many years to accumulate, and they take even a much longer time to recharge because of the huge deforestation that we have, the disturbance of the wetlands we have. So the best solution we could look at is the harvesting of our rainwater. If you notice, year after year we've got rains, but most of them just go to waste as runoff water. So why don't we find a way of harvesting this rainwater and then using it when need arises? Rushing to harvesting the underground water systems should not be a priority right now, because once we disturb them, it's virtually impossible to restore them. So that's the first issue we thought we should comment on. In connection to the same drought, another solution we need to look at from an agricultural perspective is sustainable agricultural practices. If you look at the practices that are mostly practiced right now, most of them are unsustainable. There is no water retention that's taking place with the growing of most crops. That means most of the water is lost to the atmosphere in the form of water vapor. So why don't we bring about a program that inculcates skills that help our farmers learn ways of cultivating and preparing their lands in a way that retains moisture? We're talking about them implementing agroecological practices such as cover crops, such as mulching, the growing of seeds that are locally found that are drought resistant. That's a priority for our agricultural space if we're going to deal with droughts in the future. Another point that's been critical in the first quarter is with regards to carbon credits. Actually, carbon credits have been in the headlines since COP26. The question we would like to ask is whether carbon credits are the best form of climate action for Zambia and for Africa. Why is agroecology not a priority solution that's on the agenda at any of the COPs? Because agroecology is a form of climate action that looks at solutions that are homegrown, ideas that come from us as the most affected by climate change. Why are we quick to embrace solutions that those that are causing the majority of the pollution are actually putting on the table? Yes, we realize that there is financial gain when we look at carbon credits, but when you look at the bigger picture, carbon credits only promote more pollution because the people that will be buying our credits will continue polluting wherever they have their industries running. They'll continue making profits whilst we preserve our ecosystems in the name of implementing climate action. So why don't we focus on solutions that are homegrown, that we own as Africa and put them as a priority on the climate action agenda. So why don't we focus on the promotion of agroecology? That should come before the talk of carbon credits. Another important issue we need to look at is the issue of how exactly we transition to green energy. With the high deforestation rate that we currently have, the promotion of hydroelectric power is not a good idea for us because we are not harvesting enough water to power these dams. Energy alternative we could focus on as Zambia, a country that's in the tropics and has got plenty of sunshine, is of course solar energy. And this should be a program that's not only encouraged amongst individuals, but it should be promoted by government through our main electricity utility company, which is ZESCO. We are supposed to go full out in the promotion of solar energy so that the burden on our hydroelectric power generating facilities is reduced. With the high deforestation rate that we currently have, our hydroelectric power generation will be burdened until we're able to restore most of these watershed and water catchment areas. So that's an important issue that we need to look at. How do we transition to other green energy sources and stop relying so much on hydroelectric power? We are currently undergoing load shedding. It wouldn't be the case if we had enough supply of electricity coming in from solar energy. And lastly, we would like to talk about our wildlife and how it's managed. In the first quarter of this year, there was a story that went around for a bull rhino in Livingstone called Fwanya. The rhino was supposed to be transferred from the Mosotunya National Park to Lusaka National Park. Then it went to a certain game reserve within Livingstone and it was dehorned from there. The key issue surrounding that story is the fact that no one seems to know where exactly that bull rhino is. No one seems to know where exactly it is. No one seems to know where the horn that was removed from it is. And it's not the first time we are having lack of transparency in relation to a wildlife story. So our key advice to the Ministry of Tourism and the Department of National Parks and Wildlife is that, when you manage these resources like wildlife, you're doing it on behalf of the people of Zambia. That means there is need for transparency and there is need for honesty. There is a lot of lack of information when it comes to most of the issues we have in the wildlife sector. Whether it's elephants being shot or dying in Livingstone, whether it's with regards to the electric fences around the Radisson Blue Hotel in the Mosotonia National Park, whether it's with regards to the bull rhino Fwanya, there is always secrecy. I don't know where this idea comes from that less information is good for wildlife management. Actually, more information released to the public is good for wildlife management because you keep the people in the know and you reduce the chatter from the people and the rumors that are spread because you're honest about what's going on and you keep people posted. So the appeal is really to the Ministry of Tourism and Department of National Parks and Wildlife to have a little bit more transparency in the way that they manage wildlife. It's important to let people know exactly what's going on rather than be quiet and make people guess what's going on. That only breeds rumors. And the rumor mill machine in this age of social media cannot be stopped once it starts running. So these are the key issues we thought we should focus on for the first quarter of 2024.